Hello you lovely lot. So today I'm going to talk about all things brows because I thought, well, it's about time. I actually did a Q&A recently on the Benefit UK social channels and it was all about brows. It was a brow clinic and I was overwhelmed by the amount of questions there are, but too right, because your brows are so important. And in fact, at Benefit they've been raising eyebrows since 1976, so 40 years of waxing and styling brows, which is literally incredible. So in my opinion, I learn from the best. So what I've done is I've taken the top 10 questions, and the thing about brows is it doesn't matter on your age, it doesn't matter on your skin tone or your hair colour, your eye colour, any of it. Brows are important to us all. They're literally like an instant eye lift. They open your eyes, they make you look more awake, which is always good, and they just groom and finish your look. So even if you're wearing no makeup or loads of makeup, if your brows are perfected, then your look is going to look completely finished. So, top 10 questions, let's go. Number 1, my brows are non-existent. I overplucked them when I was younger and they won't grow back. Well, I hear this all the time, particularly because in like the 70s and 80s it was a real trend to shave your eyebrows off. Can you believe it? Oh my god, if I shaved my brows off I'd have a heart attack. But to literally shave your brows off and draw them in, and if you're lucky and you did that, your brows may have grown back, but actually a lot of women's haven't grown back, so you have these really thin or non-existent brows. But don't panic, because technology has come on so much and there's some amazing brow products out there. Firstly, I would recommend getting your brows tinted and waxed, and that might sound crazy because you're like, why would I get them waxed when I've got no hair? The tint will grab onto every single tiny little hair. Even if you can't see those hair, the tint will grab onto it and create a shape. And then what the waxing will do is clean up around it, so it's going to give you a better brow than you may have now. But the best product to use after your wax and tint is Gimme Brow. Now, you hear me talk about this one a lot, but it is incredible. It mimics the appearance of real hair. So it's got these tiny fibres in it that grab onto your hair and they make your hairs look thicker instantly. And it also adheres to skin. So if you have got, you know, hardly any brows, don't worry, because this will also adhere to the skin, making your brows look thicker, but natural at the same time. Yes, high five to Gimme Brow. Whew. My brow hair sticks up straight is the next question. Now I can see it now, it's all kind of like sticking out like this, and that is really annoying, isn't it? Particularly if you do go and have your brows waxed and tinted and look after them and the hair's still going straight. Well, like with the hair on your head, what do we do when that sticks up? We put a bit of gel on it or hairspray. Well, Speed Brow, this one here, is actually an eyebrow gel, so it keeps the hair in place. So you literally just brush it through the brow and it will sit those brows back down and it will stay there all day. What should I do in between waxes to make my brows look good? Now, this is such a good question because my brows grow so quick. I had them done a week ago and I could probably get them done again already, but I haven't got time, so I always wait about 4 weeks before I get my brows done. And like you guys, I obviously grow the hairs around and then they look messy again, so what do? Well, what I do is firstly I tweeze the stray hairs. Now, I'm not going to touch the shape at all because I leave that to Lauren or Loretta, who does my brows. But I literally just tweeze the hairs that are under, the stray ones, or on top, the ones that aren't near the arch, but the ones that are making my brows look messy. And when you're tweezing, it's really important to pull in the direction that the hair grows. So don't go away from the hair, because then you'll snap the brow and that will just leave you a little black dot. So really gently just pull the hair out, almost slide, and it's best to do that after a bath or shower if you can. The other thing I do is I take some Boing concealer, and I've actually got some on now, but I'll show you again, and I literally put it over the top of those stray hairs and it covers them so that you can't see them anymore. I am a natural redhead with very fair brows. What products are best? Well, that is a question I get asked all the time, because if you have got glorious red hair, which I'm very jealous about because it's my favourite hair colour, then actually a lot of the time your brows are either very fair or strawberry blonde, and it is quite hard to find products that aren't too dark or too, I suppose, grey to match, because sometimes it can look a little bit chalky almost. Well, I definitely suggest a tint. And actually, if you go to your nearest Benefit Brow Bar Lounge, the brow expert can custom blend a tint for you to match your hair colour, which is just amazing. And the other thing that's great is, again, Gimme Brow in the light medium, because it hasn't got any red and it's not too dark in it. What it actually does is it just tints the brow slightly, but it is makeup, don't forget, but it tints it. But honestly, it looks incredible with red hair. Whenever I draw my brows in, they look fake and drawn on. Well, are you using a Sharpie is the first question. I'm just joking. No, it's a really common and easy mistake to make, because sometimes we're a little bit heavy-handed. And it's the same with our eyeliner, really. We'll do one brow and we're like, oh God, I love that one. And then you'll do the other one and you just can't quite get it right. So then you start building them up and building them up until they literally like they're stuck on. So the best thing to do is to draw little tiny lines. So you can use your Browzings, and it comes with the brushes and the tiny little tools that you do need. And rather than kind of drawing your brows in as you're saying you do, just draw little tiny strokes. So tiny, tiny, tiny little strokes. This is what I do all the way along the brow. And it's going to take a little bit longer than maybe you're used to, but if you've got good brows, the whole of your look looks amazing. But the top tip to stop them looking drawn in is, once you've filled them in, take a clean mascara wand, or a spoolie as it's called, and you can buy these from any pharmacy, and all you want to do is brush through your brows with this. That's going to break down the product slightly to give you a much more natural finish. Can certain medication affect waxing? Absolutely it can. Some medication can actually thin the skin, particularly if it's steroid based, and obviously you don't want to get your brows waxed if your skin is thinned, because it can actually pull and break the skin. Now at Benefit, what they do is you sign a disclaimer. It lists all the medication on there. The brow expert will ask you what you're using, and they'll advise you whether or not you can get your brows waxed. And if you don't want to go into a store to do that, and then they say no you can't, then just give them a call and they'll advise you whether you can or not. Oh, the other thing that relates to that actually, which isn't in the question but I'll say it anyway, is when you have your brows tinted, you should always have a patch test. We always recommend them. You have it for 24 hours. So just go and have one. Like if you're walking past the Benefit Brow Bar Lounge, then just go and have one on the back of your ear anyway, even if you're not planning on getting your brows done for a few weeks. And then you'll know whether or not you're allergic to the tint, which is very, very rare, or whether you're good to go. Where should my brows start, arch and end? Well, this is a very important question, because if they don't start, arch and end in the right place, then they will look very unbalanced and a little bit odd. So what we do at Benefit is we map your brows to get the perfect shape brow for you, because obviously everyone's face shape is completely different. Now, I'm going to use a brow pencil here, but we have a special tool in the store. But your brow should basically start here, so from the corner of your nose going straight up. That's actually going to help to slim the look of the nose as well, which is always good. Then they should arch here. So again, from the same point, you're looking straight ahead, straight through the pupil, and they should arch there. Now by arching there, that's going to lift the whole face. It's like an instant eye lift, and it's going to open your eyes. And then the brows should end here, so from the corner of the nose, corner of the eyes, going straight across there. And actually a lot of times our brows, we start to lose the tail of the hair there, so it's really important that they end in the right place, because that helps to define your cheekbones. It's kind of like contouring without the millions of products. We call it like brow contouring, because your brows literally add shape to your face if they're done correctly. I have scars in my brows. What can I do to cover them? Well, haven't we all got a scar in our brows? I definitely have, and it was from falling over the handlebars of my bike when I was about 3. And that is a really common thing to do. So I just use Browzings again. So I go back to my little Browzings because I just love it, and because it's got the wax and the powder in it, it adheres to the skin and the hair. So again, just little strokes over the top of the scar and it will cover it in no time. I'm a wimp. Does waxing hurt? Well, I'm also a wimp, and the girls that wax my brows will tell you that I'm always like, ooh, ooh, ah, even when it's not hurting or even when they're not touching my face. I'm such a wimp. But with Benefit, we wax brows super, super quick, and the reason that we wax is because then we're removing so much hair in one go. So we just wax in the centre, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the waxing done, and then we tweeze to shape. And that actually answers the next question, which is what's best, waxing, threading or tweezing? Well, actually, for me, I do love the combination of waxing and tweezing. I personally find threading because it's so quick, a little bit unpredictable. And if you get someone that isn't quite as experienced and they make a mistake, then your brows can be ruined. So with waxing and tweezing, it's still quick, but it's much more precise. And the last question is, what colour should my brows be? Such a good question. Loads of people dye their hair. So you might be a natural brunette, but actually you've dyed your hair blonde, but that still means that your eyebrows are dark. So what I do is go for the darkest colour on your head. So what you should do is look underneath the hair, and that colour there at the roots should be what colour your eyebrows are. So even if you dye your hair platinum blonde, you'll always find that underneath at the back here you have a darker section, and that's what colour your brows should be. So that is the end of my brow clinic. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it informative, because brows are so important. They really are. Nothing beats visiting a brow expert and getting them done professionally. Absolutely not. And you should get them done every 4 to 6 weeks. I always recommend a brow tin, even if you've got dark brows like myself, because it makes them look fuller and healthier, which sounds a bit weird, but it makes them glossy, so it makes them look really groomed and amazing. And then styling your brows makes such a difference to your face, because it just completes your look. So that's it. Done. Browtastic, eh? Oh God, I've got so many. Browmazing. Okay, I'll stop. Well, have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.